Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something that might just flip everything you thought you knew about heart attacks. What if cholesterol isn't the main villain? What if it's all about a special kind of water? Yeah, you heard that right. We're going to unpack a theory that challenges decades of medical advice and points to a totally different culprit.
Okay, so let's just jump right in with a number that is, well, it's pretty mind-blowing. 75%. That's the percentage of people admitted to the hospital for a heart attack who had, wait for it, normal LDL cholesterol. You know, the bad cholesterol we're all told to worry about. In fact, half of them had levels that were considered optimal. So right off the bat, you have to ask yourself, if high LDL is the main trigger, how on earth can this be true? The math just doesn't add up.
You know the story. We've all heard it a million times. It's the clogged pipe theory, right? You eat saturated fat, that raises your bad LDL cholesterol, and then that LDL builds up in your arteries like gunk in a pipe until, boom, it's clogged and you have a heart attack. It's simple, it's easy to picture, but what if it's just wrong? That 75% number we just saw, it kind of screams that there's a lot more going on here.
All right, so let's start pulling at the threads of that official story. Because once you start looking closer, you find these puzzling paradoxes. And these aren't just little inconsistencies. They're big, gaping holes that mainstream cardiology has a really tough time explaining.
Okay, here's a big one. Think about this. Why do we only get plaque in our arteries? Why never in our veins? I mean, it's the exact same blood flowing through both, with the exact same amount of LDL cholesterol. So what's the difference? Well, one big one is pressure. Arteries are high-pressure systems, veins are low pressure. This is a massive clue. It suggests the environment of the vessel, the physical forces at play, are way more important than just the amount of cholesterol floating around.
This leads us to a totally different question. Instead of asking why cholesterol is attacking our arteries, maybe we should be asking what's supposed to be protecting our arteries in the first place. Because if our arteries are constantly surrounded by LDL, something must normally be keeping them safe. This theory says heart disease doesn't start when cholesterol shows up, it starts when that protection fails. So the real first step is whatever is damaging the artery wall.
So what is this invisible shield? Well, the answer, according to this school of thought, isn't some new drug or supplement. It's something physical. It all comes down to a really unique phase of water that forms a protective barrier inside our arteries.
Yeah, this isn't just your regular everyday water. It's called exclusion zone water, or easy water for short. And here's the best way to think about it. When our blood vessels get hit with radiant energy, like infrared light from the sun, the water right next to the artery wall organizes itself into this gel-like layer. It's structured, it's negatively charged, and it basically acts like a natural Teflon coating for our arteries.
And that's why they call it the exclusion zone. This gel-like shield literally pushes things away. It's like a bouncer at an exclusive club. It blocks all the big stuff, we're talking red blood cells, bacteria, and yep, LDL particles, from ever even touching the artery wall. They're just physically too big to get through. The only things that can pass are tiny little ions. And this right here is the whole ballgame. If that shield is healthy and intact, LDL can't touch the artery wall, period. And if there's no contact, there's no injury. No injury means no inflammation. And no inflammation means no plaque. It's a simple chain of events. For plaque to even begin to form, that easy shield has to collapse first.
Okay, so if the slow buildup of plaque isn't what causes the final fatal event, then what does? According to this framework, it's not a clog that's been building for years. It's something sudden. It's all about the formation of a blood clot.
And you know, this isn't even a new idea. Way back in the 1850s, a doctor named Rudolf Virchow figured out the 3 things you need to form a dangerous clot. He called it Virchow's triad. You need 1, damage to the artery lining, 2, stagnant or messed up blood flow, and 3, blood that's become sticky and prone to clotting. And guess what? A collapsed easy shield provides that initial damage, kicking off this whole deadly process.
This completely changes how we should think about plaque. When you actually look at what plaque is made of, it's not just a big blob of cholesterol. It's almost 90% clot-derived material and repair tissue. So plaque isn't the bad guy starting the fire. It's more like the scar tissue that forms after the injury. It's the body's frantic attempt to patch up a wound left behind when that easy shield collapsed.
Now check this out, because this real-world case study is just wild. A doctor has a heart attack, but his arteries are totally clean, zero plaque.
They install a medical device that happens to disrupt the blood flow in one spot. And what happens next? That artery becomes almost 100% blocked with plaque. But here's the incredible part. He focuses on things that rebuild easy water, like sunlight and using a sauna, and in 2 years, the plaque is completely gone, back to zero. This is powerful evidence that it's the flow and the health of the vessel wall, not just the cholesterol level, that drives this whole process.
I mean, that story is amazing, right? A complete reversal. And that brings us to the most practical, most important question of all. If this shield is so important, how do we protect it? How do we rebuild it? Because it seems like the health of our arteries is this constant push and pull.
And you can really break it down into two opposing forces. On one side, you've got the easy destroyers, things that create oxidative stress and metabolic chaos. And on the other side, you've got the easy builders, things that feed our bodies with radiant energy and restore metabolic flexibility.
And here's the tough part. When you look at the list of destroyers, it's a list of modern life, isn't it? Seed oils and processed carbs in our food, pollution in the air, heavy metals, chronic stress, not enough sleep, and maybe the biggest one, not enough sunlight. All these things are said to create the oxidative stress that just eats away at that vital protective shield.
But here's the good news, and it's really good news. The things that build the shield back up are totally within our control, and they're not complicated or expensive. We're talking about getting sunlight, especially in the morning, using an infrared sauna, literally just putting your bare feet on the earth, that's grounding, drinking good mineral water, eating a clean diet to lower that oxidative stress, and finding ways to calm your nervous system, like meditation or just walking in nature. These things actively recharge that shield.
So, what's the big takeaway here? This whole idea suggests we've been asking the wrong question for decades. Maybe the most important question isn't what's your LDL number. Maybe the real question we should all be asking is, how strong is my shield? Because that question, that's one that gives us the power to actually do something about it.